Hi everyone, here we are. I'm over here. I have the honor to have Denise Peske with me. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name.
Pronounced it great.
My accent is horrible. And it's an honor to have you here, Denise.
Thank you.
It truly is.
Thank you.
And I met Denise a few weeks ago, and she shared with me her story, which is just amazing. So I asked her if she could do a video and share her story with everyone else. Because let me tell you something, it's beautiful. I want you to stop everything that you are doing and I want you to hear it because it's gonna go straight into your heart. Okay, so Denise, please share with us
Thank you.
about your life.
Thank you. So my story it's probably similar to a lot of people's stories because we all have our own stuff that we deal with in life and
That's
our own
true.
pains and struggles. But I want to share mine in the hopes that it helps somebody else. And I think people don't talk about stuff enough. And
They
I've
don't.
learned they
Some
don't.
people they kept this to
Yeah,
themselves.
and they don't realize that they're not alone. So, and I think for a lot of what I went through, I thought I was alone, and I'm not, because I didn't share my stuff. Not because people didn't care. I didn't share my story.
We never alone.
No,
Never.
we're not.
God is always with us. We are never alone.
It's true. So mine goes back to sixth grade. Now, mind you, I am 50. So this went on for a long time. And it's been a lot of lessons. And back in sixth grade, I felt like I wasn't developing like the other girls. I was tiny. I wasn't developing a figure. I felt like a little girl comparatively, and which there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it felt bad, and it lasted the whole way through school. And I didn't really date. I went to a small school, but I didn't really date. The other girls did. I just didn't feel pretty enough. I didn't feel good enough.
Confident.
I didn't. And so after school, I went away and went away to school. And what I learned was that if I studied really hard, then I was getting good grades. But with that, I stopped eating well. I was eating a lot of ramen noodles. I was eating a lot of crackers. I wasn't getting a lot of good nutrition unless I went home to my parents' house on the weekend. And this lasted the whole way through school. I got straight A's, but my health was starting to decline some because I wasn't eating right. And, a lot of us attribute poor eating habits while we're in school to, well, they're in school. So I graduated school with honors, and I went off, got a good job. And along the way, I kept those habits, not necessarily eating ramen noodles, but I wasn't eating much at all.
Wow.
So then all of a sudden I was like, I would go somewhere and they'd be like, well, you should try this, you should try that. And I would. And then the bulimia started. So,
oh my Lord.
yeah, so because I was going to fit in, but I didn't want it in me. For anybody who knows about bulimia, once you start down that road, it's a hard road to come back from because your body instantly reacts. You put food in it, it doesn't want it, it rejects it. And so it becomes an automatic.
It affects everything.
It does. And over the course of time, I was becoming very ill. I became very skinny. And when I say skinny, I was 98 pounds. It was a very unhealthy skinny. And everybody else was seeing it. I did not see this. So the more I lost weight, the more in control I felt, the more beautiful I felt. So I thought I was getting prettier. I didn't understand what anybody else was saying. And people were trying to tell me, but I wasn't listening. So I started to it was affecting my health.
Absolutely.
So I was having unknown health problems. My thyroid, I ended up on medication for my thyroid being off. It was hyper. I was diagnosed with Epstein's-Barr virus chronic fatigue syndrome. It started when I was like 18 years old. 17, 18 is when all this began. By the time I was really sick, I was probably 20-ish. And I ended up on my parents' sofa for a couple weeks, had to take a leave from work. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. Nobody knew what was wrong with me, but at that point my body was crashing. And so it took to a point of my heart started hurting at one point, and I called my doctor and I was like, so do you think this is related? And I had never discussed my eating issues like verbally, like I wouldn't talk about it. People would talk about it with me, I wouldn't talk about it. And he was like, I'm glad you finally see this. Yes. So at that point that scared me enough that I went to my family, I went to my friends, and I finally was like, I need some help. Please don't call me out if you see me eating. Don't make an issue of it, but work with me through this. And it took some work. It took some time. And I finally got to the point where I was at a good weight. My doctor was happy with my weight. I felt it was good enough. There were people who would still say I was too skinny, which would always annoy me. But everybody in my world was happy with where I was at. So I was good. But unfortunately, I still had this mindset that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't pretty enough. And I was always comparing myself.
That's bad. That's so bad.
It is bad, and it's something we kind of train our brains to do. And it's another thing, once you start down that road, it's hard to stop doing it. And so I went to a beach in the Dominican Republic with my ex-husband. And in the DR, you can go topless. Women can go topless on some of the beaches. And there was a woman there, and she did. And she had a beautiful figure, and I felt like a little girl again. And I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't want to be there. And
how old were you?
I think I was probably 22, 23 at the time. And nobody even said anything about her. It was all in my mind. My ex-husband was a gentleman. He didn't even notice her, at least as far as I was concerned. So it was all in my head of what was going on, but it was very real to me. So fast forward a few years later, I'd gotten divorced, and I was probably around 35, 36 at the time. And I was like, well, maybe I'll start to date. It was a few years after, and I was going to start to date again. But I still didn't feel good about myself. So, I mean, this has been going on a long time.
I know, it's a long time to go through this.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would just look in the mirror and be like, I mean, I would have days of feeling good, don't get me wrong. But there was something always in my head that I wasn't good enough. So, I went and got breast implants. I thought, if I have a figure, I'll be beautiful. This will change how I feel about myself. And to some degree it did, but it didn't really, because I was confused with where confidence lies. I didn't get that. I didn't understand it. And so I had the implants done, and I was like, great, I can wear a bikini, I can wear cute dresses that I've always wanted to wear. So I had, for a moment of time, I felt really good about myself. And a few years after that, I went to a party at a friend's house, and I met a guy who I thought was great. We hit it off, and we chatted for the evening. Great conversation. It was a lot of fun. The next morning, I sent him a text, and I was like, I went small. And I said, I'm sorry if I was, too open, if I talked too much. And I just kept apologizing. And I had nothing to apologize for. Exactly. And, it was fun. And so I didn't really hear from him. And then it was my sister. She came to me and she's like, he thought you were a great girl and you were really pretty, but you lack confidence. And he needs a woman who has confidence in herself. And
that's reflect on everything.
Yeah. And I didn't see it. I didn't get it. I was crushed. I was angry. And I'm like, he doesn't know me. What does he know? I live overseas and I'm making money and I have designer clothes and I've got a figure now and I'm this and I'm that, and that had nothing to do with where confidence lies. Again, I was confused. So, and I think a lot of women are confused about this.
Absolutely.
So I was determined over the course of time, whenever I would see him, which wasn't very often, that I was going to prove I was confident. That's the most ridiculous statement I could ever make. So it's kind of funny. And probably the more I did this, the more he was like, what are you doing? So thankfully he was always a nice person the whole way along. He's a nice guy. But so years later, I started becoming more and more sick, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. I mean, really sick, to the point of the beginning of 2019, I thought I may end up on disability by the end of the year. My health was crashing so bad, and I didn't know why. Mind you, I've had health issues back in my early 20s. I wasn't taking care of myself, but I thought there has to be a reason as to why I was getting ill. And I tried everything, Western medicine, Eastern medicine, nothing was working for me. I finally realized my breast implants for me were making me sick. And my body wasn't able to handle it, and I had them removed in April. And I have to tell you, the lessons that I learned along the way of this, I thought what I was going through was about just getting better. And then I was driving home from work one day, and I was in so much pain, my body hurt so bad, and I was like, I don't understand why I'm going through this. When am I going to get better? When? And how? Because I'm like, I can't take this anymore. And I just had this feeling, and I'm like, it's about the lessons, isn't it? And I'm looking up, and I'm like praying to God, and I'm like, it's about the lessons. And I just had this feeling. I'm like, got it. It's about the lessons. I've got to learn. What do I have to learn? And I was learning along the way. I was learning about, with all the health issues I was dealing with, I learned about empathy for other people and what they're going through. And it's not just a thing they have and they get through it. It really, people are holding secrets that you don't even know.
Absolutely.
I had gone through states of depression, even though I wasn't diagnosed with it. But when your health is failing and you don't know what's going on with you, it affects your mind. And there were days where I would just, weeks on end, I would just go home from work, and I was in so much pain. I would sit on the sofa and I would watch my TV, and that was it. And I went into some dark places with that. And so on the days where I was feeling good, I didn't even know what to do with myself. It was kind of like you get into this space of being in a cocoon, and you're going to stay there.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I didn't feel good about myself because I was so sick. My hair was falling out. It was awful. So as this was going along, I was nominated for an award in February, March, and it was on my journey to health, because people were seeing, I started advocating for, all the health issues that were affecting me. I'm still out volunteering with some of the nonprofits in the area and trying to help others.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I was still trying to help others, but again, I still wasn't getting that I had to help me. And I mean, I was fighting for my life, but I wasn't getting it still. And so between the nomination and the award ceremony is when I had the epiphany of the only thing left toxic in me, because I had gone through so much of detoxing my mind, my gut, everything, was the implants. And I went, oh, okay, this is what's wrong with me. So I had them removed, and when I was writing my speech for the award, I was writing out the lessons that I learned on my journey to health, and I'm like, I have to share why I got the implants. And so I got up in a room of 100 people, and I shared that I had poor self-body image, and I'm getting chills, and I lack self-confidence. And that is tough to share.
It is tough to
because you're
share.
sharing vulnerability, you're sharing quote unquote
You're exposing
weakness.
yourself.
Absolutely. And I was doing it somewhat on Facebook. I was sharing my journey, but that's different when you're just typing out about your journey and sending it out to the world. But when you get up and actually speak about it to people, about you, that's tough. So, but I did it. And I said in that speech that, I lacked self-confidence. I had poor self-body image. And that was a lesson that I needed to learn, that God wanted me to learn, that I am beautiful. And I said, now I have to move it forward. I have to share with other women that they are beautiful just as they are. And that things aren't going to make them confident. Things aren't going to make them beautiful. And they have to learn where it comes from. And it's tough to learn. And I went through a lot of therapy. I'm not ashamed to say it. I went through hypnotherapy. I went through regular therapy. And over the course of time, I went to different therapists. Some worked for me, some different. Thankfully, the ones that I ended up with last, they worked really well with me. But just because you talk to this person and they say, they kind of brush you off, or you go to a therapist and it doesn't click, that doesn't mean you shouldn't go. It just means you haven't met the right person to connect with to help you heal. And you have to, for your own sake, you have to be your own advocate, which is what I became over time. I became an advocate for me and my health. And if somebody, a doctor, whoever said, there's nothing wrong with you, or I don't know what to do with you, that's fine. But I had to move on, and I still had to fight for me. And I think we forget to love ourselves that much. We do it so much for other people.
Absolutely.
We forget to do it for ourselves. And
a lot of people are doing that. They help other people, but inside of them, they need help.
Right.
They need to take care of them first.
Yeah.
For them to be able to take care of the others.
Exactly. So, as time went on, I had to back away from all of my volunteer work because I had been so sick. And for me, it felt like I was losing a part of who I was. I'm like, but I love helping people. But again, it wasn't doing any good. I mean, it was, but I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't putting on my own oxygen mask. I wasn't, helping myself so that I can help even more people. Mm-hmm. So when I gave that speech, I decided this is what I have to do, I went, no, I really do have to do this. And so I wasn't sure how, but now I have my Facebook group, Pretty Lovely You, and
which is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I went to Pretty Lovely You.
Yeah, and it's all about helping women with confidence and learning where it comes from, and I bring people on to help them with that. I'm not necessarily the expert on everything except for my journey and what I've been through and what I learned, which in all honesty is a lot of hands-on expertise.
Absolutely.
But I'm bringing other people on who, whether they're therapists, whether they deal with yoga, meditation, mindfulness, breath work, whatever it is, or even as far as and with what you're doing with your business. And because I know on some of my dark days, if I put something on that was a color that looked good on me or something that made me feel good, it helped me through those moments.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's beautiful what you are doing in that regard. And it just, everything kind of came full circle. And so I'm very passionate about helping these women and helping young girls to know, where does it come from? And it's not something I can just tell them. I can't. But over the course of time, hopefully if that seed is planted and they can work through it, then hopefully they can come through it faster than I did, because that's been a long time.
Listen, Denise and everyone else, God created us in a beautiful way. We are all unique.
Yeah.
I cannot be you
No.
because I'm Luciana.
Right.
And you cannot be me because you're Denise.
Exactly.
So we cannot try to look like, somebody else. You are unique. Mm-hmm. God created you in a unique way.
Yeah.
We are all beautiful in so many ways. We are all beautiful in so many ways. And there are a lot of women that are suffering from this, from what you went through.
Yeah.
Not believing yourself and comparing with others. And
believing what other people say to you.
Exactly.
The negative chatter that goes on. If somebody says something to you or looks at you like, why are you wearing that, or what's wrong with you, or why did you do that, and you allow these things to infiltrate your mind and believe it, that's normally they're projecting about themselves onto you. Mm-hmm. And it has nothing to do with you or your story. And if you are true to you and what you are doing is good and you feel good about yourself, then what they're saying doesn't matter. Now, mind you, back in the day when I was anorexic and people were trying to tell me, I thought that's what was going on. Clearly it was not. I was very ill. But now I know, with everything I'm doing health-wise, everything I'm doing for me, it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't like what I'm wearing or if they don't think I'm good enough. I know I'm good enough.
You tried for so many years to prove to everyone else that you are beautiful.
Yeah.
Don't do it. You're not here to prove to anyone else.
You're not.
You gotta feel beautiful inside of you. You got to love yourself first. Believe in yourself first. That way you can help others and love others, you know? Not what the husband said or the boyfriend or the friends or anyone else. You have to believe in you.
Yeah.
And put effort in yourself. There is nothing wrong. Nothing wrong.
No, there's nothing wrong.
To put something nice, lipstick or makeup or earring or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, there is nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to do it. Sometimes, Denise, I'm over here in the house and I do it for myself. You know, I'm not expecting anybody, but I like it. It's something that I like.
Right.
You know, and makes you feel good too. So there is nothing wrong with that. But first, you got to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself...
None of those things matter.
And what you went through, Denise, it's a luggage. It's a luggage. God allowed you to go through this, which was an experience of a learning experience. So every time now she's able to share and to help everyone else across your path.
It's true.
So if somebody comes with something that she went through, she opened the luggage, takes it out, here it is, I went through that. I'll help you to come out of this. You know, I'm here to give you hands and just help you through it.
Yeah.
So God sometimes allow us to go through stuff. I mean, I went through so much stuff. You know, I've been diabetic for 24 years. And you know, diabetes is a very difficult.
It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. And the diabetes damaged some of my nerves, so I have some problems. You know, chronic pain, and the vision. You know, 5 times I got Bell's palsy.
Right.
And 5 times. So my face, my lips, my eyes, everything dropped, and my vision was kind of blurry. You know, on the right side. So I came out of this, you know. You gotta believe in yourself.
You do.
Listen, God created you in a so beautiful way. It doesn't matter if you're tall, if you're short, if you're skinny, or if you're a little bit more weight. It doesn't matter. Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Do something for you, because that will reflect everything else.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I know just going to the gym and getting on the treadmill for 20 minutes, that in itself, doing that for me makes a huge difference. Just doing anything that makes you healthier. And the more healthy you are, the better you feel, because you're doing good things for you. So yeah, and then everything else you do that's healthy for you, whether it's putting on something that just makes you feel good, makes you feel bright and vibrant.
You told me too that you were kind of embarrassed to go to the gym.
I was embarrassed. And I felt like everybody else there was, you know, working out. And I would literally, back in the day, I would get trainers just because I didn't want to be there by myself, because I didn't feel good about myself. And after having gone through what I went through in these recent months of healing, I went to the gym, and one day I just looked up and I started looking around at everybody on the different machines, and I'm like, they're just like me.
Absolutely.
And I was like, wow. And there are people you can see that they're self-conscious and they're like not really looking up. And so what I decided to do is I would, you know, catch their eye and be like, hi, you know, and you could see a smile come across their face. All of a sudden their comfort level was there. So I'm like, they're just like me. And I mean, some people are more fit, some people are less fit, but we're all there. We're all trying. We're all trying to do something for ourselves. So again, it was somewhat in my head that, and it's also, you know, you hear it advertised a lot, you know, I don't like to go to the gym because, you know, everybody there, you got to stop listening to the chatter. You're going to the gym because you're doing something for you.
Absolutely.
And if you can help somebody else to feel good about being there as well and overcome some of their issues, all the better. Because, and if somebody doesn't say hello back, then they don't say hello back. Maybe they're having a bad day. But, yeah, so I was...
It's all believing yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
It is.
Like the Bible says that God, it's right here too, with God all things are possible. All things are possible. There's nothing that you cannot do. Even the word impossible says, I am possible.
I love
you know,
that.
if you take impossible and take the I, and divide that, it's I'm possible. We are possible.
Yeah.
We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. The Bible says that you have not because you ask not. The Bible says that knock and I will open the door. The Bible says that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So listen, if I can do all things, honey, let me tell you something. I will do all things.
Absolutely.
Okay? So we are beautiful.
We are.
You are gorgeous. I am gorgeous.
Yeah, and all of you are gorgeous.
Absolutely, all of us. Why? Because our Creator made us gorgeous. So please listen to what Denise is saying and believe in yourself from inside out. I have this clothing line. It is a dream that God gave me 10 years ago.
Right.
And my clothing line is, the meaning of it is to make a difference. I had a fashion show December 6th, and I didn't use the perfect models.
Right.
The perfect.
Well,
because we are perfect.
what society thinks is perfect, or
Uh-huh.
what we're told is perfect.
Exactly. So all the models that I had, they were perfect, beautiful.
Because they were real.
Yes, they were not the title with the models
Right.
title, but they were beautiful.
Right.
Short, tall, skinny, a little bit over. It doesn't matter. We are real. Let's use the real thing.
Yeah.
So I use all of them, and it was beautiful to see their smile on their face. So I had some, people sharing some stuff with me, and the clothing is here because I want you to it doesn't have to be my clothing line. I'm not here to try to sell. It's good for me to sell. I'll make money out of it.
Exactly.
But I want to see difference. I want to see people, putting something on and feel good. Listen, if you are sitting on the sofa and you kind of, I don't feel myself. Okay, listen, get up, shake it off. Put some lipstick on. I don't care, red, pink, hot pink, whatever you want to put in. Put some earrings. Put some clothes on. Look at outside. Look at the sun outside. You are beautiful. Live life fully.
Yeah.
We gotta live life fully.
Go outside and look at the sky, look at the sun, look at the trees.
Yes.
There's beauty all
So,
around us.
if you don't believe in yourself, the husband will not believe in yourself. The friends will not believe in themselves, in yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to. So Denise went through a lot, even depression.
Yeah.
And now here she is. She is helping a lot of people. She has her own Facebook page.
Yeah.
And which calls
Pretty Lovely You.
Pretty Lovely You.
Yeah, and it's all about confidence and self-love and empowering women to know they're beautiful just as they are.
She's helping. She's speaking through 100 women. She's helping a lot of people now after she went through what she went through. So listen to me. You are more than conquered. You are worth it. We are, Denise. And I remember you said that it was one time that you didn't feel worth it.
Yeah, I didn't feel, and I just recently learned what the word worthy means, and again, it goes back to, it's not about wealth, and it's not about, your worthiness is how you feel about yourself. It's a feeling of believing in you. It's a feeling of belonging. It's a feeling of, feeling your spirituality. It's a feeling of, it's also giving back, but you're giving back in a way of what is inside of you. You're not just giving from an empty plate. Mm-hmm. You're giving back from with all of your strengths. And so yeah, I went through a long time of not feeling worthy, and I actually, in a negative way, I had that kind of said to me that I wasn't worth it.
Can you believe that?
And that was cruel, and that was hard to hear.
Absolutely.
That wasn't something like the other one where he said I lack confidence, and he didn't say it direct to me. That was completely different, and he was a gentleman about the whole thing. But this was just mean, and it took me a long time to not believe that, And yeah,
And look at you now.
yeah,
Look at you now.
yeah. So
You
it's,
know?
it's completely, my life has changed, and I'm, even though I went through a long time of not feeling good about myself, to get to where I am now and know it and not be in the dark and not feel like I have a blindfold on my eyes anymore. It's amazing, and I'm grateful to have gone through it.
So you're single now.
I am. So,
Beautiful single lady.
work in
Whoa.
progress.
Work in progress. Yes, I am so happy for you, Denise.
Thanks.
I'm happy for what God did in your life. I'm happy for what you went through. Because it's nice to go through stuff too. It is nice.
It is.
Because my daughter one time asked me, said, Mom, why I'm going through this? To make us stronger.
It's
To
true.
make us stronger. To make us a better person. You know, I went through so many things and that made me stronger. So look at you now. You're stronger.
Thank you.
And you are helping now everyone that cross your path.
Yeah, we both
And that's
are.
beautiful. You know, and God is using you in a mighty way.
Yeah.
So I want everybody to hear it. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want you to know that be strong and courage. The Lord your God is with you whenever you go. Believe in yourself. Listen, girls or boys or anyone that is discouraged right now. Believe in yourself. Express yourself.
Be you.
Be you. Shake it off. You know, feel good. If you have to put a nice clothes on, put a nice clothes on. Put a whatever you want to put, a red lipstick. Sometimes I have a pink lipstick in my house and my son look at me like, whoa.
But
You know,
like it.
do what you love.
Right.
Right? Do what you love and live life full. You're not going to live again. Today, tomorrow, yesterday is gone. That day you will never live it again. So if you are sitting on the sofa right now and you are discouraged, remember, this is the only day you're going to be living. After today, it's just going to be tomorrow. And then
Who knows?
you got, who knows? Who knows? So we have to live life fully.
Yeah.
So I want you to understand this. Believe in yourself. Love yourself, okay? It doesn't matter what your husband said. It doesn't matter what your friend said. It doesn't matter what anyone said. It's what you believe. You are worth it.
Take the step.
Exactly. You are more than conquered. You can do all things. You are possible. Because with God, all things are possible. So get up, shake it off, and move on. Move forward, okay? Please do.
Yeah.
Denise, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And God bless you.
You as well.
I'm going to give Denise a little, top outfit for her to wear it.
Aw,
I want to give that to you.
thank you.
And I just want you to spread the love and keep doing what you are doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We should do this more often.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, everybody that is watching. God bless you. We love you.
Bye.
And if you need anything, call me or text me or call Denise. We're going to leave her number there too when we post the video. And if you need any help, we are here. And we will help you with anything that you need. We love you, girls.
Love you.
Bye.